Z.
This is Mr. Kardinal Offishall. Z. All the hits. Z103.5. Hey yo, what's happening? Chill. Okay, what up, T-Dot? You already know what it is. The best in the hip hop is Mr. Kardinal Offishall, and you got it locked to the station that don't stop. T-Dot Z103.5. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Kardinal Offishall.
Chill. What it is.
Well, let's talk to Kardinal Offishall now. I know, like, you know, I mean, you grew up here in Toronto, I guess the Scarborough area. You spent a lot of time.
No.
Yeah.
Born in Scarborough.
Yeah.
But
Oakwood, Vaughan area, I guess.
Yeah, spent most of my time in the Oakwood and Vaughan area before I was able to the downtown core and go where the birds chirp at night.
Yeah, see that one.
To the fullest.
That's it.
To the fullest. I'm always close enough to be able to get a jerk chicken dinner.
That's interesting because, like, a lot of people that, you know, came into Z103.5, I guess, about a year and a half ago, we started getting the song Dangerous with Akon. They're like, where did this guy come from? He's an overnight sensation, but...
A 15-year overnight sensation. I've been doing this since I was a little kid, so I am the best 15-year overnight sensation that you ever heard.
But sometimes that's what it takes. I mean, Julie Black says the same thing, you know. It took her, like, you know, having the payment for a decade plus before she got some notoriety.
I mean, most definitely. I mean, I met Julie when she was, you know what I'm saying, when she was like, you know, 15 years old. So, yeah. I mean, people, it's funny because people are like, oh, I grew up listening to you. I'm like, how old are you? And they're like, you know, such and such. And I'm like, yo, we were like in grade 9 when we did that song. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like, you know, we were like, you know, old like Jay-Z when we were doing this. We were doing this since we were little kids. So it's funny because we kind of, you know, grew up together with people. But it's dope, man, because it's like putting in all the work, you know, for the first time. You know, I've seen platinum plus plaques, you know what I mean, for Dangerous and Tide is High and all these different things around the world. Like, this year for me has been absolutely crazy, you know what I mean? Because it's like we went everywhere from Greece to India to China to Mexico, like you name it, we smashed every place around the world, you know what I'm saying? And it's like just the experience that we've been having over the last, you know, year and a half has been absolutely bananas. So that's why the next album we're calling it Mr. International, because that's pretty much been my experience, you know what I mean, over the last year and a half, 2 years.
Well, it's amazing that you've had all this international success, but I gotta tell you, man, everybody was real happy to see Kardinal Offishall finally come home to Toronto in July at the Summer Rush, buddy. You just came out of nowhere.
Hey, man, I mean, that you already know what it is, you know what I'm saying? Anytime the family's performing, you know what I mean, they call it, yo, we need you to say no more. You know what I'm saying?
We were hoping you would come like the year before, but then there was a schedule conflict, and then, you know, this year we weren't expecting you, and then all of a sudden you came out, and the crowd just went crazy for you.
Yeah, man, it was absolutely dope. It was a dope experience. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just the other day I was doing some random Christmas shopping in the mall. Somebody's like, oh, I saw you at the Z103. That's crazy. So, you know, that's what I love to do, though, especially to come home and do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, Toronto, everywhere I go, like, the experiences have been absolutely bananas, you know what I'm saying, like, around the world. But to come home and do stuff for the city, you know what I mean, I think everything, the climax of it all for 2009 was bearing the torch last night. Yeah,
tell me about that experience, because, I mean, there was some protest going on at some point, but then you have all these incredibly loyal and proud and patriotic Canadians.
You know what, and that's the uncool thing, because those protesters, luckily I had done my run already, but it's like they stained what was by far the most amazing experience I've ever had in my whole life. You know what I mean? Because it's like, one, to be able to be amongst all these other torchbearers, like, you know, never mind my little accomplishments. Like, you have people that have beat cancer. You have some people that are still living with cancer and don't know if they're going to see tomorrow, but they're out there bearing the torch. You have people that have done so many amazing things for their community. A lot of very special people that do not get any light otherwise because they do stuff on the humble. And to me, that's way bigger than anything I can do, you know, on the radio, on TV or whatever. And to be just a whole part of that, and to be on that bus and with the police escort, when you see just the whole city came down and they're waving and they're cheering, that Olympic spirit is something that cannot be replicated. That's an experience that, you know, I feel blessed to have. It's definitely the best thing I've ever experienced in my life.
Well, they're in for something special in Vancouver, and, you know, we had it in the past in Calgary, and hopefully one day we'll have it here in Toronto. But the fact that they're, you know, carrying the Olympic torch from town to town to town, I mean, like, you know, they had smaller places like Bolton and
you know what's
Brampton
cool?
and Newmarket
This is the longest torch run that they've ever had in history. You know,
this is one, like, we're at 50 days today, and, you know, it's gonna keep on going.
Yeah, it's absolutely bananas. This is actually the longest torch run in history. So this is dope that everybody, like, from the smallest, you know, 3 300-person town to, you know, a metropolis like Toronto, you know, everybody's able to experience it. You know what I mean? No matter how much money you have, how little money you have, you know, what it is that you do, everybody's able to be a part of it. And that's what's so amazing about the Olympics. You know what I mean? So never mind the, you know, the little protest that they had that held it up for a while. I think the thousands and thousands and thousands of people that line the streets and just cheer on the torch, that's a way better thing to report on. You know,
do you have your own torch? You have it in the back pocket right there?
Yeah.
Let's pull out the torch, everybody.
First of all, I would never have something like that in my back pocket. That's number one. Number two,
Kardinal Offishall lighting it up here on Z103.5.
Yeah. But no, you know what? I was able to buy it, so that's dope. So I have
Nice.
The torch that I ran with all the soot and all that stuff. You know what I mean? It's in a random room in my house that nobody goes in. So I'm gonna get one of those glass boxes made, and you know, just put it up somewhere.
Well, what's the price tag for something like that? I mean, can I get that for some of my family and friends too?
Nah, it's only available for the torchbearers, but it wasn't much. It was like $300 or something.
Okay. Yeah, all right. Well, let's play your big tune. I mean, this year, of course, you had Clear. You've won how many Juno Awards now? 4? Is it 4?
I don't know. 2 this year. One with Shock Slayer with Let's Ride. One with Northern Touch before.
Yeah, you've done 4, man.
Yeah.
Much Music Awards. Big tune on Z103.5. Billboard track.
I mean, you know,
You're huge,
one SoCan Urban Artist of the Year. In America, we won the ASCAP Awards for Urban Song of the Year and Pop Song of the Year. So it's been a great year, you know what I mean? And more than me saying that so that it seems like I'm like, you know, yeah, I did this and did that. I'm from Toronto. I was born in Toronto, raised in Toronto. There's so many ill artists that's out there that's doing it for the city. And what's dope about 2009 is you had so many people break out. You had Drake, obviously you have Melanie, Fiona. Now you have Rhea from NERD. Like, there's so many of us now that's showing the rest of the world that there is a bunch of talent that's here in Canada. Because I've been screaming it, you know what I mean, until my tonsils bleeded, and now the rest of the world is finally catching up. So 09 has been an amazing year for the GTA. I can only imagine what's going to go down in 2010.
Now, you talked about some of the stuff that you did in the past, and then there was kind of a time period in there where, I don't know, it felt like you were in limbo, you didn't know what direction to go in with. I had heard some talk about you were going to do some stuff with Timberland and the Neptunes at one point.
Oh, yeah.
That, you know, never really came to fruition, but then you got hooked up with Convict Crew.
Well, what it was,
how did that happen? So
I mean, what it was never, we were, it was just a thing to where, back, you know, years ago,
right.
Pharrell and the Neptunes were just a fan of the music, you know what I'm saying? Same thing with Timberland. One time, what happened with Timberland, we'd worked together, but we never put out the joint. Maybe it'll be next year. But,
I was thinking the same thing. There's got to be something in the archives there.
There's definitely stuff in the archives.
With YouTube and the internet, that you know, let's get this stuff. There had to be some stuff produced, right?
But what it was Missy had come up here on tour one time, and she went back. And now Missy's funny because she's like, yeah, I was the one, you know, I went overseas and I toured Timberland. I saw this crazy artist. I was like, you went over the lakes, man. Between here and the States, there's no seas, you know what I'm saying? But she was the one that put Timberland on to me, and then, you know, we had done that work years ago. And the same thing with Pharrell, you know what I mean? He had come up here one time to promote one of the Nerd albums, and he just happened to be a fan of Old Time Killing, and that's how we started to be cool, and you know what I mean, and work those years ago. But we were never gonna do a label scenario. Like me and labels don't really agree, to tell you the honest truth.
You're not for sale, are you?
I'm not one of those. I'm not really one of those guys that likes to be in that whole corporate lockdown for far too long. So that's why the whole scenario with me and Convict and the Con Live scenario works out perfect for me, because it's like, if I have a boss, the only boss I have is Akon, and the thing is, we just look at each other as equals. You know what I mean? It's like when we in the studio, we just wild out and have fun, and it's a no stress. You know what I mean?
So he doesn't pull rank, he doesn't pull ego, and says, "Hey man, if that's what you think, you know, and it sounds right, he'll go."
Nah, because I mean, if you look at it, my track record has proven itself, and I mean, even the whole Dangerous thing, it's me that brought it to Con.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he respects my creative ability and where my mind is at. I tend to try and think in the future, not think what's hot right now, but what we're gonna make hot. So, you know, with that being said, make sure you guys look out for the new joint that we have. It's going to be called Body Bounce, and you guys will probably get that in January. So, you know, we're going to pick up right where we left off. 2009 was dope because I was just getting my passport stamps up, but, you know, we were traveling around the world. We were laying the foundation, but 2010 is crazy. The album's coming out, and yeah, Body Bounce is going to be coming out in January, so you already know what 2010 looks like. Hey, yo, what's happening? It's Mr. Kardinal Offishall telling you this is a place to hear all the hits. Z103.5.